Animations can be made in various ways. We have the classic 2D style that everyone loves and people are used to, 2D paired with 3D elements that are usually used because some characters have a lot of details and are too time consuming to be animated. I used this technique in one of my previous videos to make Gojo's hollow purple, Gojo being 2D and everything else being 3D. And we also have the full 2D CGI style responsible for the Berserk 2016 abomination. And it was made like this because look at how detailed the Berserk manga is. This is clearly not classic anime friendly. But the CGI anime ended up looking weird, and that's why I want to turn a 2D anime into 3D, making it look as 2D as possible. And since Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the most beloved animes right now, and I already made a video about Gojo as said before, the time has come for the King of Curses Gojo and Sukuna to steal the spotlight. Even though there are a lot of amazing moments of Sukuna being badass and stealing the show, I started the video with his Domain expansion in mind, the Malevolent Shrine. Domain expansion that we only saw twice throughout the anime, and every time it was different. The first time Sukuna summoned his temple, a mini lake, and his clothes turned to his classic kimono, whereas the second time he still had Yuji's uniform and summoned anything but water. And as grandiose and malevolent his second Domain expansion was, I used the first time as the main reference just because of the lake. This means that the only thing left to do is choosing the outfit for our main character, and as convenient for me would be to choose the Jujutsu uniform or the kimono, modeling muscles is more challenging. So you have a winner. And we'll turn this shirtless Sukuna to 3D just to turn it to 2D later. Modeling him would have been a bad time, but luckily I found on the internet a photo of Sukuna from both front face and side face, which made my job so much easier, and his face ended up looking exactly the way I wanted. The same thing I can say about the hair, the part I was the most afraid of, and you can understand why based on the way it looks. And not gonna lie, I really cooked on this one. The body on the other hand is a well different story because I'm the one who picked this outfit, so I can't complain about it. Why did I pick this? Somehow I gave him pigeon chest, but don't worry because this is going to change with the rematch modifier and manually sculpting. Until then, he's a pigeon. A T-posing pigeon, I'd say. In case you don't know, this is the base pose of every character in the creation process. That's why in the video games, when there is a bug related to animations, you will end up being followed by a T-posing SpongeBob. So this means that a T-pose is not a pose, but the absence of a pose. And it's a T so limbs won't interfere and the mesh won't glitch. Kind of funny how the pose responsible for avoiding errors is the only error pose. Back to our Yuji-kuna, I don't intend to include his shoes into the render since I want to make it over knee, but I'll still make them. Just not as detailed and worked. Editing grain here, I'm so grateful that I did make his shoes, you'll see why. I don't understand what was in my mind to not include half of his legs in the first place. Moving on to sculpting his body, this part is important in order to fix his chest and add details like abs, ribs, and overall make his torso look like a torso. I'll do the same with those pants, and by that I mean adding details, not abs and ribs. I don't know why I wanted to specify that. With the 3D model finished, there are only two things left to do. One, retopologize the model, and second, make it 2D. The first one is extremely boring, so I'll endure this by myself, but for the second part, I want to try something different. Drawing him in Blender and then remake the texture image in Procreate to make it look better. In my head, this sounds like a great idea. And look at this! I'm pretty proud of the way it looks. Since the only thing left to do about Sukuna is rigging, and I do this right now, we can move on and make his temple. So this is the temple. I'll of course texture it and it is going to look like this. The sky texture doesn't fit at all with this blurry image texture. I'll make one using the noise texture node from Blender. Said and done. So now everything left to do is animate our Sukuna. Somehow, animating fingers is easier than I initially thought, and this is only motivating me further to make more dynamic scenes in the future with more character motion. And so the first part of the scene will be complete. I made a cube and deformed it in sculpting mode so it will become a background. I will also add some smoke to it because it will give more mystery to the animation and also make for a great transition. Not like this one, but an actual grid transition. For some reason I want this temple to spin, and then during the spinning a transition to Sukuna's domain. Here the viewer, and by the viewer I mean you, will be greeted by a big water drop that's going to mess a bit the water pond, and this is exactly what I want. And get ready, because after a lot of work, this is the final result. I like the way it turned out, especially this part where you can see Sukuna's evil smile. And if you do as well, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.